It's such a crazy sport. I mean, I know there's some fascinating sports out there, and obviously downhill skiing could be similar, the one rand format. Motocross, you kind of have time. You
Exactly.
can make a mistake, but downhill with so many variables and this one
Mm-mm.
run and the margins are so small. It's actually crazy how consistent all the riders are, and
Yeah.
yeah, there crashes, but it's pretty damn impressive what the
Mm-mm.
athletes are able to do. So what in your mind makes a successful downhiller?
Um, you have to be committed. You have to, yeah, to, how do you say, to have a good underbar, yeah, to have a good, un bon coup de guidon, we say, like, to know how to ride your bike, to have some base skills, some good skills. A riders that are, that is having fun on the bike. Fun is like, of course, is super key, and consistent. Like, it's just like, you have to go every day and to be strong on the bike, to build your speed, and to be patient, because like you said before, there is a lot of low, and I feel like there is much more lows than high, and to be okay with this and to always like learn from it. There's been some laws that I feel like I did I didn't learn when I was younger. Like you can break a bone and you're not asking yourself what happened. Say I was exhausted. I was last sprint of the day, but you did again the same mistake. you know. So to learn from your mistake and to be consistent and to have fun, I would say, and to be super well surrounded. I feel like a champion cannot be a champion on his own. I've been
Yeah.
lucky. I started with my three older brothers that bring me into downhill, and then straight away I had a really good team. So it, the team, good mechanics, some good. To be well surrounded, it's super important. That's why I had off to all the privatiers that, like Camille, for example, she was sleeping in her van and she made her first World Cup, and then she ended up being world champs. That's amazing, because when you are alone and not many people around you, it's definitely harder. So super grateful to have the good support I need to perform.
Yeah, and how much now looking back do you think having three brothers influenced your riding, your career? You know, Rachel as well. She had
Yeah.
two of the most successful brothers sort of egging her on, you know. It's actually
Mm-mm.
quite a big help. There's quite a few similarities there with Rachel and yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I just wanted to keep up with them, to follow them, to do like them. They were just my inspiration, and that was so cool, to just go on a race. At the beginning, it was really not about racing. It was just about how cool it was to take my parents' van, all three, and just to go in a van and on a French Cup, and I would end up weekends with a medal, because most of the time I was the only girl. so, so that was we were camping. So at the beginning, it was just for the trip and the adrenaline on the bike when you ride downhill. I was doing a bit of cross country, and I quickly stopped because I was like, this is definitely not for me. It was way too hard, and downhill were much cooler. And so at the beginning, it was really cool. And then I started and did my first years in junior. I only started second year junior. And I was getting a bit more professional. And I feel like South Africa has been the term of being professional, because everybody for this track, remember, with this long pedaling section, like everybody start training for this fitting section. And I haven't had a seat post on my downhill bike because I couldn't stay up sprinting the whole way down, so I had to sit down. And from then, Pietermaritzburg, I feel like it became more and more professional, and you had to train, and then I had a coach, and so on.
So it was Peter Maritzburg was the cause of your starting to train. So you can
Yeah.
thank
Oh,
the pedaling section of Peter Maritzburg back in the
yeah.
day. Because I
I
would
was
say that was kind of your weakness back in the day, was
that was
pedaling, right?
exactly
That's fair to
pedaling
say.
wasn't my thing. I, I was doing great on every race, always in the top five, and I couldn't make it into the top 10 in Peter Maritzburg. So I was like, maybe you have something to learn. So yeah, I felt like 2009. I start training properly, and you're like, hey, I'm not a junior now, so if you want to be good in elite, you have to train. And physical at the beginning was, yeah, really hard.
But it's a quite an inspirational story because you weren't just straight to a phenom from junior, straight to the top of the elite podium all the time. Like you had these
Yeah.
waves of potential. We could see the raw talent and the skill on a gnarly track, but you had to really work and figure out your weaknesses.
Mm. Yeah, that's why, in 2012, I remember Red Bull did help me, and that's a thing that teach me to be surrounded by the good people. So I start having physical coach, and then to do more quality in the gym, to have a coach with me in the gym, and to start making decision myself about what what was the plan. It's not like someone giving you a plan and you follow it. It's just like being involved in the plan, and on you know yourself more than anybody. So what are your weaknesses? What do you want to improve? At the beginning, it was, and still, I wasn't born with some easy physical fitness. No, I wasn't born super strong. I have to work hard to be able to pedal like someone who would not have to work that hard. And then it was the jumps, because I did hurt myself a lot on jumps, and jumping became, why it was not that bad, became a big weakness where, for example, in 2019, I won world champs going around the last jump, So it was from recently that I start feeling more and more confident in the air.
Do you think okay, it sounds like it was some sort of weakness, but it also, I think there was a new generation and riders coming up that
Yeah,
were like better than usual for the ladies at jumping. Would you
yeah,
say that as
yeah.
well? At the same
Yeah,
time, that it
for
wasn't your
sure.
strong suit, but there were some ladies that we weren't used to seeing doing jumps. And then now, I mean,
Mm-mm.
now we're talking Valley and Gracie Hemstreet. They've grew up in a bike
Yes.
park. Jumping is like beyond a strength, you know?
Yeah. I feel like before I would come from riding bikes from the bike school where you would do cross country, trial, or downhill. And there was people coming from BMX, and they were super better at jumping. And we didn't have that much bike park track back in the days. And I feel like Bali, Thibaut d'Aprella was the first generation to grew up in bike park with gnarly jumps, and you could really see the difference. So yeah, I feel like it was a big turn, and now I saw 2 days ago a Commensal kids advert, and I was like, how old are they? So I went checking, and they were doing crab apple in Whistler, being 7 and 9 years old. I was like,
No.
wow. So you're just like, hey, that's insane. I've never jumped crab apple.
And what's that mental process like? Because I think quite a few people, and I've heard you speak about it before, which is super helpful. But that process of identifying the weakness, and that's a mental thing as well. Physically pedaling, you can work on, but it's not a scary thing. You shouldn't get
Yeah,
hurt from learning to pedal
yeah,
better. Jumping, you can get hurt even uh, while you're improving.
yeah. So I feel like it was really important to start low, like with some Whistler, for example, some small jump. Whistler did help me a lot. I have to be honest. Yes, because yeah, it's all about the improvement and the progression. So a lot of people after were like, how did you went over your fear on jumping? It's just about starting small again. It's just like, and for example, right now, I haven't ride much this year and I'm going to build some confidence back, build some feeling. So for the jump, it was easy in Whistler because you have all those different track and you can start small and be better and better. So it helped a lot to be in the same place and jumping. And then just like my coach back in these days were like, just turn your wheel a little bit and just feel comfortable and just leave one hand just to feel like, to feel good in the air and feel safe to manage the
And
balance between the
now,
bikes. So
oh, sorry. No, sorry. I didn't mean. I
no, no,
just
no,
thought
yeah.
I was a didn't hear. And now, what does it feel like getting to a downhill track, knowing you've worked on it, and it can be a skill that you can rely on? You know.
Yeah, it's more natural, and I'm not gonna lie, when the jumps are sketchy and scary, I'm still doubting a bit about how it will goes, and I'm not the one that will go first. I like to just like send the young generation being like, how does it goes? You just look,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're like, okay,
That's
it's safe. Why
experience.
why
That's
would
not
I go?
scared. That's
Yeah.
experience.
Why would I go first? Like there is no point. And then I would be yeah, and then it feels good and it's more relaxing. When I was walking tracks, I was always like, even some small jumps, it started to be challenging, and I would waste so much energy. So it's just like earning some energy because you're like, oh, I know this, I can do this, so easy.